Most people think dangers in the Rockies are predictable: cliffs, cold, wildlife. But recent records show something else. Rescue teams finding bodies in impossible places, gear left untouched with no footprints, and official reports that quietly raise more questions than answers. These are not just random tragedies. Each case tears a hole in what we think we know about the mountains. Why do the facts keep breaking the rules of nature? Joseph Halpern set out for the summit of Flat Top Mountain in late October 1933. He was experienced, and he was alone above the tree line. The weather had shifted quickly. Fresh snow fell overnight, and wind scoured the ridge. By late afternoon, Halpern's last known position was logged at the cliff edge, at an elevation just over 12,000 feet. He would vanish on that ascent. Search and rescue logs confirmed the first rescue team arrived before sunrise the next day. They found Halpern's pack, ice axe, and gloves arranged neatly on bare rock. The snow around the site was undisturbed, with no prints leading away, no sign of a struggle, and no evidence of a fall or animal activity. Search and rescue. Captain Bill Haskins, who led the operation, filed a report saying they swept the ridge for a quarter-mile in every direction, and if there had been tracks, they would have found them. 40 searchers combed the area for 3 days. The gear was dry, untouched by the storm, as if Halpern had stepped out for only a moment. Rangers checked every possible route down the cliff. No trace, no slide marks, no broken branches, not even a glove print in the powder. The result was no trace. Decades later, the case remains open. Some rangers, speaking off the record, admit the scene still haunts them. One wrote in his journal that it was like he was lifted out of the mountain. Some have suggested Halpern slipped into a hidden crevasse or was buried by a sudden drift, but no evidence ever surfaced. Others point to rare cases of voluntary disappearance, but Halpern's family rejects that idea. The truth remains as cold as the wind above the tree line. Backpackers stumbled onto the body early on a Sunday morning, deep in a stretch of forest known only to locals as the Silent Corridor. The coordinates logged in the Park Service incident report placed the discovery at the base of a narrow chasm, where 2 slabs of granite rise 40 feet above the forest floor. The man's body was wedged high between them, limbs tangled, head tilted toward the sky. There were no climbing ropes, no harness, not even the scuff marks that a desperate scramble might have left behind. The ground below was undisturbed, no footprints, no drag marks, no sign that anyone or anything had climbed up or come back down. The county medical examiner's report, later quoted in official records, described the injuries as consistent with a fall from extreme height. Skull fractures, broken ribs, and compound fractures in both legs matched what would be expected from a drop of at least 40 feet. But the surrounding terrain offered no such drop. The highest ledge within 100 yards barely cleared 12 feet. A 3-dimensional terrain model commissioned during the investigation confirmed the impossibility. No natural feature could have delivered a body to that position without equipment or outside intervention. The backpackers who found him told rangers they had heard nothing unusual the night before. No shouts, no rocks falling, not even the distant echo of an animal's cry. The man's identification was intact, his wallet still zipped in his jacket pocket. There was no sign of a struggle, no trace of blood except what pooled beneath the body itself. The official cause of death was blunt force trauma, but the manner, accident, homicide, or something else, remained undetermined. Some investigators floated the idea of a secret solo climb gone wrong, but the absence of gear and the clean ground below left that idea hanging. Others suggested the body had been placed there deliberately, yet there were no marks to support such a feat. Animal attack was ruled out. There was no evidence of predation, no fur, no tracks. The Silent Corridor kept its secrets, and the contradictions in the case file only deepened the mystery. Snow began falling hard the night the survival instructor left the main trail. His name was Adam Keller, 38, a winter field guide with a decade of backcountry experience. He had taught avalanche rescue, built shelters from scratch, and trained dozens of rangers in cold weather survival. Colleagues called him methodical, even cautious. That weekend he set out alone, logging his route and expected return with the park office. When Adam missed his check-in, a search team mobilized fast. They found his tracks heading deep into the timber, then circling twice near a stand of lodgepole pine. The storm had buried most signs, but one set of prints led to a clearing where he was found, frozen upright on his knees, head tilted to the sky. There were no signs of a struggle, no scattered gear, no evidence of hypothermia stripping, just a man kneeling in the snow, eyes open, as if waiting for something. Next to his body, searchers recovered his emergency beacon. The casing was split cleanly down one side, the antenna snapped off and buried in the snow nearby. Forensic engineers from the manufacturer examined the device and ruled out accidental breakage. The dent pattern matched a single, forceful blow, deliberate, not the result of a fall or animal bite. NOAA weather logs confirmed the storm's intensity, but showed no lightning strikes or wind gusts strong enough to account for the damage. Inside Adam's jacket, his field notebook was zipped in a plastic bag. The last entry, scrawled with a shaking hand, simply read, "It is not the cold. It is following me." Some experts point to psychological stress, isolation, or a sudden breakdown as possible causes. Others, including the beacon's lead engineer, insist the evidence suggests human interference. Someone or something wanted Adam's call for help silenced. The search perimeter stretched for miles, mapped out in overlapping grids by the incident command. Rangers marked each recovery, first a water bottle, then a child's shoe, on the master map. The items appeared in a loose arc, scattered over 3 miles of dense forest and rocky outcrops, far beyond what any 6-year-old could cover alone. The search and rescue manager, Tom Ruiz, reviewed the logs. No tracks between the objects, no sign of animal involvement, no evidence of a group moving together. 3 days after the family's disappearance, the missing child was found sitting quietly at the edge of a dry creek bed, coat zipped, hands folded, shoes dry despite the rain the night before. A trauma counselor sat beside the boy. The child's account was simple and unwavering. "A tall shadow walked with me. It kept me warm. When I got tired, it carried me." Medical staff examined him for exposure. No frostbite, no dehydration, no bruises or scratches. The distances on the search and rescue map did not add up. The terrain between recovery points included steep ravines, thick brush, and a stretch of icy stream. For an adult in daylight, the route would be punishing. For a child, alone at night, it should have been impossible. Official statements from the sheriff's office attributed the survival to luck and the child's imagination. Rangers on the scene, though, spoke quietly among themselves. One noted, off the record, that the search dogs had refused to track past the last item. The trauma counselor later wrote, "Children sometimes invent helpers after trauma, but the facts here do not fit any pattern I know." Some suggest the boy's account reflects confusion or fantasy, a mind protecting itself. Others, including a few seasoned rescuers, wonder if something in those woods defies explanation. The only certainty is this: a child survived what should have been fatal, guided by something no one could see. The ranger's camera was recovered from the base of a windswept overlook, battery drained, memory card intact. Forensic analysts pulled the image files, each stamped with GPS coordinates and the exact time. The last sequence began at 5:41 in the evening. Shots of the forest from the ridge, then a series of frames capturing pulsing bands of light between the trees. The final photo, taken at 5:46 in the evening, shows the ranger's own shadow stretching across the ground. Behind it, just inches away, stands a blurred figure. No clear features, only an outline, as if caught mid-motion. EXIF data confirmed the images were authentic, with no evidence of tampering or post-processing. The park's investigation file includes a memo dated 2 days after the recovery, recommending immediate closure of the overlook and adjacent trails. The memo references unresolved safety hazards and requests all staff avoid the area, pending further review. Within a week, park management rerouted the trail system, posting new signs and quietly removing maps with the old routes. No public statement linked the changes to the ranger's death. Internal emails later released through a Freedom of Information Act request mentioned the photographs only in passing. One supervisor wrote that the images were of unknown origin and were best not circulated outside the department. Some photo analysts argue the blurred figure is nothing more than a motion artifact, a trick of the shutter and failing light. Others point to the light patterns, noting their symmetry and intensity are unlike any known camera malfunction. The question remains, what did the ranger see, and why did it cost him his life? Even now, more than 100 people vanish in the Rockies each year, many without explanation. The unanswered questions fuel new searches, new fears. The mountain's silence isn't empty, it's a warning. Some wilderness mysteries remain unsolved, not because we can't find the truth, but because we're still searching for the right questions.